Hello and welcome to another MaintenanceROS tutorial. My name is David, and in this video, we're going to start exploring our exciting new inventory feature. The focus this time is how to select or upload your own deck layout, and then how to create the various storage locations on your boat. I'm starting out here on the inventory page, which can be selected over on this left-hand side menu, and I have a nice blank canvas to work on. The first thing I'm going to do is come down to the lower right-hand corner and choose to set up my deck layouts. By doing this first, when you eventually add all of your inventory items, you can accurately designate exactly where in the boat they're stored. This may or may not have been inspired by the hours I've spent looking for a part I knew I had, but had forgotten where I'd stored it. Hopefully, we can avoid that same thing happening to you. The first level of organization in our inventory system is at a deck level. So we can create as many decks as you'd like using this process we're about to go through. So let's add our first deck. You can get as specific as you want. So if you have a catamaran, you can create decks for your port and starboard hulls. You can do separate layouts for your bilges or even your helm. Now for this example, I'm going to keep it simple and capture everything on the main deck. And if you'll notice, by default, we've got some very generic boat outlines that you can use. There are layouts for a monohull, catamaran, trimaran, or even just kind of a power boat, power yacht, if you would like as well. Catamarans are still near and dear to my heart, so I'll select that one. We can save this and begin creating to some specific storage locations. However, it's a bit too generic for my liking. So we've created an additional option that lets you upload your own custom deck layout image. As it just so happens, I have a detailed layout of a Fountaine Peugeot Helia 44, so I'm going to select that and upload it. And that looks so much better. Let's go ahead and save this deck, and now you can see the main deck has been added to the list. Now, in order to create storage locations on the main deck, we're going to go ahead and select this entry, which brings us to the main deck page. I can add a location by selecting this button here, and let's give the first location a name. Well, let's call it Engine Room Starboard. Now we can map out this position on our deck layout, and I will click where the starboard engine room is located. Now this is optional, you don't have to map out the position, but doing so will give you a nice visual reminder of where things are. So we've created ways for you to navigate the inventory using the map, so it is helpful further on down the road. I'm going to hit save, and then we'll go ahead and repeat this process and set up a couple additional storage locations. I'll select add location. Let's do an engine room port side. Save. Whoa. See, I even made a mistake. I can come in engine room. I didn't map where this is. So I can come in, edit the location, and edit the map. Hit save. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So hopefully you can start to see how quick and easy it is to set things up, but I think one more location will help drive it home. So it's also going to help me set up some examples in our next tutorial videos. So we'll add location one more time, and I have a midship closet that's, or cabinet, it's probably more accurate, that I use to store some stuff. It's right about there. So selected location, and we're going to hit save. Now, what I want to do now is set up any sub-locations, and I'm going to use this midship cabinet to demonstrate. So on my boat, this cabinet was a very big space, and shoving everything in there would have been pretty disorganized and not very efficient. So I separated inventory items into specific bins, and we can set up each of those bins as a sub-location. Let's go ahead and set up our first one by selecting Add Sublocation, and we'll call this one Volvo Penta Bin. There is no mapping for a sublocation since it still exists within the midship cabinet location. So I'm going to go ahead and then let's add one more. What do you say? I'm going to add one more sublocation. This one we'll call my onin bin for all things generator. Once again, we'll hit save. That covers all the basics for creating your decks and storage locations within MaintenanceROS. Now, I would also like to quickly cover how you can edit some of this information as needed. I did make a little bit of a mistake earlier to give you a preview, but this will help just for future reference if needed. Let's come all the way back to our inventory page. It looks a little bit different now since we've created our deck. And now in order to edit the deck or the storage location, let's select Layout Setup. I'm going to select our main deck, and then here at the top, we've got our drop-down menu with the couple helpful options. We can choose to add more storage locations, but for this example, let's go ahead and edit the deck. Now I can come in, I can change the name of this deck, I can change the image for what is being used, and if I have created multiple decks, then I can also see an option to adjust the order in which they're listed. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a caution here if you decide to change your image layout after you've started setting up storage locations, the mapping probably won't line up correctly. Now this is something that you can fix, and I'll show you how in just a minute, but it can be a pain if you set up a lot of locations. So changing the image is here for you if you need it, but definitely plan ahead and try not to need it. So if you make any changes, be sure and hit save, and we can come back to our location setup. Now there's one more thing that I want to cover here and in the drop-down menu, and that is the delete function. Again, a bit of a caution. We have a pop-up warning that if you choose to delete a deck, it will remove any images and locations associated with the deck. This cannot be undone, so be sure that you want to continue. Now, I am also going to note that if you've added some items into your inventory and they are listed as stored somewhere on this deck, the system is not going to let you delete it. You'll have to reassign the inventory item's location first. Now, I do not want to delete my main deck, so I'm going to select cancel, and we'll come back to this location setup page. Let's continue on and make a change to our storage locations. This is what I goofed up a little bit earlier. So I'm going to select this midship cabinet location, and we've got a very similar drop-down menu. We can add additional sublocations. For now, let's take a look at this edit location option. We can choose again to rename it. Maybe I want to get a bit more specific and say this is a midship cabinet, the lower one. And I can adjust the position, move back around, but again, I'm pretty happy with where it is. So I'm just going to tap on the location, leave it the same, and we'll come down, hit save. So just like for the deck, we also have this delete location function in our drop-down menu. You're going to get another pop-up warning, making sure you just really want to do this. But again, you will not be able to delete a storage location if there are any items in your inventory associated with it. Now I'm happy to keep this location, so I will cancel out. And that is going to wrap up this tutorial. I hope it's been helpful and you feel a bit more confident that you can quickly set up all the decks and storage locations for your boat. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below or email us at support@MaintenanceROS.com. We've got several other videos that cover all the additional inventory features within MaintenanceROS, so be sure to check our inventory playlist or the tutorials page at MaintenanceROS.com. Thanks so much for watching.